My name is Craig from Flying Wheels, and I am at a dealer-only auction. I stumbled across a car that I purchased today, and I'm going to show you in this video. We're going to do a walk around, probably bring it back to life. Also, there are some kind of cool cars here that I wanted to show you those as well. What did things sell for? What did I buy? What does it need? I saw a check engine light on. Did I again make a mistake? Or did I score on a car that I think I paid like really, really low numbers on? My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. We don't need to wait anymore. Let's get going. ...2015 Mercedes S550, 70,000 miles, $6,800. Ooh, look at this Camaro RS, RS meaning 6-cylinder. It looks like a Z28, 93,000 miles, also automatic, so it's not even a manual transmission. Gonna stay away from that, even though that's a pretty cool car to see it with 93,000 miles in a convertible that's still really clean, because where I'm come from in New Hampshire, these are very rusty. I'm gonna dive right into it and show you what I missed out on. Now, for some reason in my head, I was thinking this auction started at 2, it started at 1, which means I missed this car. It doesn't look like anything special. It's an 80s old C4 Corvette, no big deal, right? Wrong. Behind all this faded Florida paint is a 5.7 liter LT1 tuned port injection with just 40,000 miles. Now you have the two-tone classic gold iconic Corvette color. You have your blade wheels, saw blade wheels, brand new tires on it, but it gets even better than that. I love the original MTV Music Television logo. If I look in here though, I don't know if you can see because the car is locked, that right there, to the left, right there, is not just a manual transmission. Now, the 350 cubic inch V8 engine with a cast iron block only had 230 horsepower, so it's nothing to boast about. But 150 mile an hour top speed on the track, very low to the ground, with an advanced suspension for 1985. That right there is a 4+3 manual transmission. What do I mean by 4+3? Well, it's a Nash 4+3. It's a manual 4-speed transmission, which was normal in the 80s, with 3 additional overdrives. It's essentially just a 4-speed manual transmission with a 3-speed overdrive attached to the rear end. It functions electro-hydraulically, but here's what the cool part is. If you look at the shifter on this Corvette, that is actually a button. So the overdrive works in the top 3 gears by just pushing that button on top of the manual shifter. My father had one in his C4 growing up, and I remember it almost sounded like you were downshifting when you pushed the button. You could hear the engine rev at a different idle. Now, I try to spit just the facts. I think this is a really cool car to see, especially with 40,000 miles in that 4+3 transmission. You don't see that often. I missed it. I came in late, so I can't even tell you what it sold for, unfortunately. I'll ask the front and try to tell you in a little while. Now, did I get anything wrong? You tell me. Now, the auction is still proceeding, and there is something very specific that I bought today. I'll show you everything else that's here, but let's just jump into what I purchased. No more dilly-dallying, no more delaying. I bought a 2005 Infiniti G35 with 162,000 miles. What makes this car so special? Number one, it's a Southern car, so it has no rust. Coming from where I lived in New Hampshire, these are typically completely rotted out at the shock towers and the quarter panels. They are junk by now. So to find anything that's mid-2000s or older down here with no rust is really a cool thing for me. We'll get the key for it in a minute. Now, on top of the manual transmission topic that we were just discussing, this one is a 6-speed. Really excited to have a rear-wheel drive manual 6-speed transmission for under $3,000. I paid $2,985 for this car. Hey, real quick, I'm going to give one of you guys $100 through PayPal or Venmo just to say thanks for watching all of my videos. Today's video is brought to you by MyBookie. If you comment MyBookie down below, I will randomly select one person and I will Venmo or PayPal you $100, no strings attached. And it's March Madness, which is coming up. I saw NC State play last year in DC and I wish I put money on them. Well, for this year's March Madness, you can bet with MyBookie yourselves. From the first tip off of the Final Four, every night promises high-stake matchups, wild finishes, and big-time betting opportunities. This is my 3rd time partnering with MyBookie, and MyBookie's Bet and Get is back to sweeten the deal. If you place a cash bet on March Madness, you'll get a surprise reward, free bets, cash back, bonus chips. You never know what's coming next with MyBookie. So if you sign up using my promo code FLYINGWHEELS, you can boost your bankroll with a deposit bonus designed to help you make the most of your money. Bet on every game, anytime, from anywhere, there only with MyBookie. Now, again, if you want to try it for yourself, you can go to mybookie.com and use promo code Flying Wheels. And if you comment MyBookie in the comments section, I am randomly going to select one of you and just throw you $100 just to say thanks through PayPal or Venmo. Let's get back to the auction. Now, we have to pay for it. We have to get the keys. I'm gonna walk around the auction a little bit more, see what else is here, and we'll go through that car again in a little bit. Still feeling this RS Camaro. You don't see them anymore, and to find them clean, even though it is a 6-cylinder automatic, is still pretty neat. Now, I've learned my lesson and I stay away from Mercedes convertibles, although these SLK 230s, I think they are, a lot of bang for your buck in these cars. They're more of a feminine vehicle, like the smaller version of the SLs. Yeah, this is gross and rusty, and it smells like the devil's lettuce, so we'll stay away from that. The auction is coming to an end. I'm gonna show you some of the stuff that was here today and also how it works. Now, this auction, what I found, the prices tend to be above wholesale. As a dealer, I want to buy things wholesale. So essentially like what trade-in is, or so new car stores that all take their trade-ins and then they run them through this auction, which is great for me. I get all their trade-ins. So rather than them selling them at another auction, having to transport them, they have their own auction. I can come here, I can buy cars, and essentially I should be buying them for what they paid on trade or near it. As a wholesaler, I should be able to buy that car, fix it, clean it, and then run it through and expect to get like what the bigger auctions get. MMR, you might have heard me say, the Manheim Market Report. So I can look up what the VIN is, what the mileage is, and know what I should expect to get for it at some of the bigger auctions. So I'd want to pay less here than I could sell it for there. I have a buyer's fee here, I'll have a seller's fee there, I'll have transportation costs, and I'll also have repair costs, recon costs. What does it cost to fix it and get it to be better than it is right now, and then also still try to make a profit. So if I'm buying cars at auction wholesale and trying to sell them at other auctions, there's not a lot of money to be made. I'd be better off buying them locally, privately, and then running them through these auctions because it would save me half the fee. Now, I paid $2,800 for that G35. I paid a $295 buy fee, so $3,095 total on a 6-speed rear-wheel drive Infiniti G35. Now, Nissan partnered with Fiat, or was actually purchased by Fiat in the, I think, mid-2000s. They went to CVT transmissions, that non-shifting transmission, kind of like a snowmobile, which just destroyed the entire brand. The quality of the 80s and 90s Nissans were amazing. I would consider them to be up with Toyota and Nissan. If you look at 240SXs and those older Maximas, you'd see them regularly with 300,000 miles. Not anymore. You do not see Nissans with high mileage anymore. You have transmission problems, and transmission shops won't even work on them anymore. And then even like the 3.5 liter that's in this G35 right here, they can sometimes get some engine knocks and be somewhat problematic. I don't really buy much newer than 2005. This one I'm not afraid of. Now, what's cool about this, I said it's an Infiniti G35. It's the sister car, the twin to the Nissan 350Z. So in 2003, Nissan came out with their 350Z, which was essentially this car right here. It was the replacement or the comeback of their Fairlady Z, the 300ZX, all the Fairladies. They came back to the 350Z, which was really just revolutionary, really super cool. Nissan's making race cars again, which was awesome. Then you get to this car, the Infiniti G35, again, the sister car. This is the more luxurious, more elegant, classy, a lot more just as fun, but nicer version of that 350Z. Same body, same chassis. You're getting forged 19-inch wheels back in 2005. Are they staggered? Staggered means two different sizes, front and rear. 225/40 19s, and then 245/40 19s in the rear, Z-rated tires on 19-inch wheels. So again, I said staggered, so 225 and 245, meaning the rears are just a little bit wider. So far, all I can really see is some sun fade on the deck lid, on the spoiler, on the deck lid. The rest of the paint seems to be in pretty good shape. The taillights aren't cracked. The headlights aren't terribly oxidized. I actually love headlight restoration, so we'll try to bring those back to life. We'll do some paint correction on the front bumper and hood, and we will definitely remove the PPF, the paint protection film. Everybody loves to put PPF on their cars and then it dry cracks and this happens. And this is gonna be a pain in the butt to get off. I had mentioned the rust on cars in New Hampshire, and we don't have that down here in Florida. This stuff because of the sun, so this stuff and this stuff. And if you look at the Ford Fusion, this is what happens. So I'm noticing that I get a lot more cars that need paint work in Florida versus rust repair, which I'll take that over rust repair any day. I paid for the car. They misplaced my keys, unfortunately, so we're going to just be waiting around for the keys to show up. So while we wait around, let's look to see what else is here. M2, but it's a 235i with an M package. So you're getting like M wheels, M calipers. It's a little bit more aggressive on the front bumper. You'll get some M trim on the inside. 3.5 liter. So, do they still make these in manual transmissions? I don't really know. Top is getting pretty worn. M235 is their inline 6-cylinder turbo. Is it twin power or twin turbo? I forget in these cars. Crazy powerful engine in a really, really light car. This is a really fun car to drive, and they call it the German 2JZ. They are incredibly reliable, and you can put a lot of power to them. A couple other things I want to show you while we wait for the keys to that Z. You'll see behind me sand. Literally less than 1 week ago, I was at the auction up in New Hampshire in a winter coat, hat, and gloves. Today, shorts, sunglasses, and sand. I did want to show you one other thing. So another 6-cylinder Camaro, yes, sold for $8,500. I feel like that could have been a pretty decent deal at 2017. Faded hood, which we talked about. I actually love buffing this because it's not clear coat fade. That's just kind of like oxidation in the clear. You can bring that back to life. This is what I wanted to show you, a 2020 Escalade. This is a premium vehicle, obviously. It is a luxury SUV, typically female's car, but this is jacked up. And not just jacked up, it's jacked up on 22-inch Toyos and has not a suspension lift, a body lift. Look at the size of that body lift right here. So basically you remove this, the spring, the strut, and then insert that, and it just drops everything and lifts your body up, which is just, it's not even a suspension lift. So now you have this gigantic luxury car that looks like a monster truck. I guess if you want to stand out, it will. Love that it has a black grille, but it gets worse than that. So if I go into the inside, oh, it might be locked. It's locked, but it gets worse. So I don't have the key, so I can't start it up. It also has an exhaust, and I think the cats were removed. Florida, there's no state inspection, so you shouldn't. EPA would come after you, but there's no exhaust guidelines because there's no state or emissions inspections in Florida. So somebody removed the catalytic converters off that Escalade, so it is loud. So you have a premium, what was once $80,000 Escalade, jacked up with the incorrect suspension on 22s with the wrong tires that the wheels stick out past the vehicle that are going to spit rocks on the cars behind them on the highway, and a loud exhaust so you can even hear it coming instead of being quiet and luxurious and supple and comfortable. All right, I have my keys. I have 2 remotes. Nope, 3 remotes, 3 keys. Did I check the history? Oh, I want that Corvette. That's what you get for being tardy. That could have been this video right now. I could be talking about a Corvette instead. All right, let's see. Is the battery dead on this car? Nope, I heard it unlock. I forget if I scanned the VIN to see how many owners this has. The leather isn't even ripped on this car, which is so rare. Again, manual transmission, which is slightly worn, not a big deal. Why is it red right there? A lot of times there was a defect in this vehicle where the radio stopped working, so you'd have to replace this entire unit, the climate control and the radio. So let's see if the radio works. Number one, let's see if it starts, and then if the radio works. Tinted windows to me in Florida is wild. Oh, it starts. Unmodified exhaust, completely stock. Check engine light on. We will see why. Ashtray, unsmoked. Radio on. Yes. AC cold. Books, no books. Books, no books. 3 keys, 3 remotes, no owner's manual. That's weird. Leather's clean. This car is so old. Who remembers what this is used for? Does anybody born after the year 2000 know what this is? What this connects to? I bet not. Heated seats, power seats. I don't love that the check engine light is flashing at me. It wasn't flashing when it went through the lane. Now, if a check engine light is on, that means there was a fault at some point. Doesn't mean it's existing. It could be. It doesn't have to be. You can still drive most of the time. If a check engine light is flashing at you, not a great idea. Not a great idea. That means there is something currently wrong with the vehicle and you should not be driving, so pull over. AC is cold. It is so weird, tinted windows. I feel like it's cloudy and looking outside, it looks overcast and cloudy, but then if I roll down the window, it's beautiful out, sunny and hot. The front window tint is just so odd to me. And then obviously side window tint is illegal where I'm from. The check engine light stopped flashing, so it's just on now. And it's running pretty great. Actually, this is probably a great spot to test it because it's so bumpy. It doesn't sound clunky. Now let's just go for a ride on this side street. Doesn't feel like a misfire, actually. It doesn't sound like it. Maybe, but who knows how old the plugs are, the coils, yeah. So it's misfiring if it's flashing now. So hopefully we can get away with plugs and coils and be okay. We'll do that in-house, and I'll go through the car back at my shop, clean it up, and see what we're gonna do with it. So I think that's enough for today's video. We'll do a part 2 where we bring this thing back to life and we try to sell it, and see what we can make for a profit. I think at $3,000, we're doing pretty well. We should be okay with it. I'm thinking 4,500 should be very realistic at an auction. And honestly, 6,000 is probably like clean fix, ready to be sold retail is probably very realistic. So for now, thanks for watching. I know it was a quick video. I hope it was interesting, entertaining, educational. I try to provide all three for you. If it was, thumbs ups are appreciated for me. And then subscribe if you like this type of content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Adios.